3, 2, 1, action.
Welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want.
He threw me off. You got it this time, not believing.
What happened?
I was like, whatever we want.
All right, so Nick's new here, and
sorry guys.
We prepped him this time because the last Off the Record I didn't prep him, so he didn't know what to do with the whatever we want part.
You prepped him, he still fucked up though.
I know what happened.
Wait, I'm dead weight. Anthony threw me
I
off.
was testing him.
Wait, you know what, Nick? Don't be too hard on yourself, because I don't even know when it evolved to the point where everyone in the room participates in the
See, I thought it was just like a cup, like the main guys. I didn't think it was like.
We're all main guys here, dude.
Yeah, thanks,
First
man.
2-3 times I said watermelon, like I was like,
Watermelon we want.
I love watermelon.
what?
Your side eye is fucking hilarious. Like,
Keep up.
So good.
Oh shit! But yeah, dude.
This one looks like the championship Lakers right here.
J.R. Smith, baby. That's what you look like. Take your shirt off. Let's see it.
what?
No, not yet. I'm not ready.
Does he wear those glasses too?
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I like to be naked on my own. Don't tell me to take it off.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get chiseled right now? Is there a good
Dude, I've been trying to get chiseled for the last 8 years, bro.
Oh shit! I don't know. Sorry, John.
No, I never wear shoes. I don't like
His
shoes.
feet are always
It makes me
naked.
feel hot. You know what's weird? Okay, so I think 7 years ago or whatever on JustKiddingNews, when we always talked about like, do you like hot or cold better, right? I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm with the hot team because like I love hot weather and cold weather. I just want to run away from. But then I did the Wim Hof cold training technique and the breathing techniques, and I did the cold showers and I did the cold pools and all that shit. And now I actually like the cold and I hate the hot.
See?
I know what you mean. I have the AC on.
Because he's always been team cold.
And then so like whenever we had the AC blasting, I'll be like, come on, Bart, man, it's too fucking
You were our
cold, man.
only other voice in this room, because me and Gio would be fucking freezing.
Well, it was Bart and David always was hot,
Yeah.
right?
And plus me and Joe, outside of this office, when we used to do shows, we travel together all the time. So it's like, it's always like I'm on the cold side, he's on the hot side. So like, let's say if I get into the hotel first, he comes in, he immediately goes, what the fuck, Bart, it's cold as fuck. Or if he goes into the hotel, I'm like, goddamn, Joe's hot as fuck in here.
Get separate rooms.
We started doing it after we make more money.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we wanted to save money, so we just all packed into one little bed.
But we even slept at some students' houses before.
What?
Yeah,
Early
done that
days.
shit.
Those are the good days.
Yeah,
early
like
days.
the dorms and whatnot.
yeah.
Oh, the dorms, but he said like houses, like I don't
Dorms,
know, like,
houses.
That to me just
Yeah.
seems more private than a dorm.
Couches.
When Casey went with us to Australia and Malaysia, it was us three in a room. It was like bed, like that, right next to each other.
Yep.
So you guys push them all together, right?
Yeah.
I think Casey was in the middle. Were you in the middle?
I don't know.
Sometimes Casey would just fall asleep on a chair editing. Like I remember we would go to Vegas and I'm like, Casey, man, you're a workaholic. And he's like, I'm gonna edit. Cause he gets super excited about the new project that we're working on. And then when I look over, he's like this.
So excited.
And he would literally wake up and then start working and finishing it.
Dude, that's the best time to work though.
That's
When you
so
first
crazy.
wake up, I have so much energy. I'm like, oh yeah. So you can go to sleep where you work and just wake up and be like, yeah.
That's a part of his process.
No, because like in the mornings too, there was like a period of time where he did this thing where like we'd be sleeping and like all cuddling or whatever, and he wakes up and he goes, this is how he wakes up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
He's like a dog,
Like,
dude.
I'd
Just
be
like.
so, like I'll be startled every morning
Yeah.
when I wake up, and I'm like, you have to stop doing this. I'm gonna get a heart attack.
You might be like me.
I think so. 'Cause it's very similar to how you explain your thought process. Because sometimes I'm like, I feel so comfortable, and if I like take my time to get out of bed, I'll never get out of bed. So it's like, fuck you, and just
Feet on the
No, 'cause
floor.
I actually
Feet on the floor.
got my brain scanned by that place called I think it's called Brainwaves or something.
I should do that.
Yeah, but it's that neuroscientist from UCLA, right? So I got my brain scanned, and then so there's like you know how you have like OCD, ADHD, like you have all these other like things that people are dealing with.
I got ADDD.
Yeah, that you could get diagnosed from like a clinical point of view. And then what he does, because he's a researcher, he diagnoses you from a research point of view. Like with these brain activities, chances are you are experiencing this. So it kind of confirms like some of the things that I got diagnosed with as a kid. But when he scanned my brain, and sees my brain activity, he's like, oh, you're a high cortisol person in the morning. And everyone has high cortisol during different times of day. And usually the people that are the most productive are the ones that have been able to capitalize on it. So for example, if you're a high
That shit
cortisol,
debilitates me, bro.
yeah, so if you're a high cortisol person at night, and then like let's say you get all your work done at night and you're able to have like a night shift type job, you're probably really productive.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm a
3 to 11 shift at the hospital. 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. was like my shit.
So that's like your best time to work. So for me, I'm a high cortisol in the morning. So he would just like kind of like a palm reader, just ask me questions. I bet you work out in the morning, huh? I'm like, yeah. You'll do this in the morning. I'm like, yeah. And then so I think for you, you might even be a high cortisol person where like if you wake up in the morning and you don't unleash the beast and like start hammering shit away, you might actually feel grumpy and like.
Oh yeah, I get depressed. I get depressed.
Because that's how I am.
By lunchtime, if I don't feel like productive in any sort of way, and it could be like super stupid, like watering the plants. And the fact that I watered plants in the morning, I'm like, fuck, I got.
That's how I am. Yeah.
And then I'm so the opposite that I like to like sleep in and like cuddle and just be like, oh, it's a slow start to the morning. Like, oh, let's like ease into it. And then so like I'll like force him to do that sometimes with me. And then by the afternoon he's like, I was so
feel
not
trapped.
productive. Blah blah blah. And I'm
But
just,
you know, you could help me out there, Bob. We could do something very productive in bed too.
Release that cortisol.
He's talking sex, people.
Talking sex.
you know, I'm more of a night sex person, so you got with the wrong girl.
So you do both. You do half and half.
Yes, we compromise by doing both.
Lunchtime.
Double time.
Yeah, just start in the morning, bust at night.
He's a morning sex. You're a night sex. Meet at noon.
I know.
Because think about how motivated he's gonna be with a boner all day. You just had half the sex in the morning. He's
Edging all day.
yeah, bop, 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 bop. And then at night it releases. And
Just letting you guys know it's about noon right now, so if you guys need to compromise.
Go that way.
Bart has the bed set up in the back. His,
Oh, he does. Bart does have a best.
dude.
That's where I lose my cortisol.
Oh.
But then the opposite happens too, like when I try to have like a productive ass morning or like meet him in like early in the morning and I'm just like, don't talk to me until I have my fucking coffee. Like I can't even function.
Because that's just not you. Like you might be a high cortisol like at night.
You might be similar to me where I realize that I can force myself and like I can produce that same thing that you guys have if I have something shocking. So like if I jump in the pool and it's cold, if I have a cold shower, if I start the day, it has to be cardio. I realize like I have to run and wake up that way. Or it doesn't start with lifting. I don't know why. I think it's the rest in between. I'm still not awake after my lift session. And I think that's why I like cardio. And then what I realized is for me to get to this point of functional like peak, it's not right when I wake up. I have to manufacture that gradual rise. And then this is what's crazy is I noticed this when I was mountain biking, right? Because like my mind's not firing and it's still half asleep, and I'm going downhill and it's not stimulating me.
That's scary as fuck.
So
Yeah, and I
There's something else going on here that we should be discussing.
You just see Joe slamming into trees and shit. He goes, it's not stimulating.
Yeah,
That's why I crash. Fuck. That's why I crash. So like my mind is not awoken to the like it's not alert, right? Like when I used to train with you in the morning, I used to get fucking frustrated because I'm like getting hit left and right, and I'm like, why am I not reacting awake? And then it's not firing. And then after our session, that was my warm up. And then I'm ready to go work out for another time and another time. And I'm like, okay, so it took me so long to recognize that I have to manufacture that wake up. But once I'm up, man, I have endurance to stay at a high peak for a very, very long time. So I have very high, I guess,
Stamina.
but it's like an old car that needs to warm up, and then I can go for the long run. So then that's why I was like, man, you guys sleep so early. You guys, I don't understand why. It's like it took me a long time to get to that point, but I can go on and maybe pull an all-nighter with that same type of high functional
Long range Tesla.
I think so, dude. And that's probably why I gravitated more toward endurance sports, and you guys don't like cardio.
Yeah, I'm a Tesla with a small battery, but there's a lot.
You like explosive
You're my car.
short burst
Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
Lots of power in the beginning, and then I just need a rest after.
Take a nap.
Cheetah.
Yeah, so
They call those 1 minute men.
But like for that 1
But it's
minute,
the
you're in
best
heaven
minute
though.
ever.
That's true. That's right.
Oh really? You're in heaven, Nick?
Yeah. It's a good minute.
But you know, once I get there though, my calm down is also long. So to me, it's like if we have a bell curve, right? Maybe your guys' energy spike is more like a high one. It goes extremely high, and then you drop down and you can come down to baseline faster.
Yeah.
Where for me, it's like a gradual up, but it's also a gradual down. And today's video is brought to you by Feels. What I also realized is that using and integrating things like CBD and all that stuff, it can help me get to a point of like, let's say adrenaline, right? I would say that is when you're in the zone, when you're at this peak of high functional, you're super hyped up, like you're at a rave, right? And then you're creative, you're doing all kinds of stuff. But then the come down, I don't know what people do, but for me, I do CBD oil and things like that with meditation to get me to a point where I can relax again and then go to sleep.
So if you're wondering what Feels is, it's a premium CBD delivered directly to your doorstep. What does Feels do? Feels naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. And if you only last 1 minute, it doesn't really help you with that. I've tried it many times. Place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. The thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is very important. So leave room to experiment over the course of a week or so. You may need to take more or less to get the effects that you're after.
There's real human support behind it. So are you new to CBD? Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience. Feels works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, hangover, or addiction. Join the Feels community to get Feels delivered to your door every month. You save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel anytime.
Feels has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feels.com/offtherecord, and you'll get 50% off your first order, which is a crazy deal, with free shipping. That's feals.com/offtherecord. Become a member and get 50% off automatically, taking off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/offtherecord.
Yup. So do you guys know which one you are?
I'm morning for sure.
I wish I was morning,
You
man.
are
I'm
morning and then
envious
you
of
go to
morning
sleep?
people.
For some reason, I
Left me hanging like Anthony Davis.
I feel all dancers are night people for some reason, because all the performances are usually at night. And
There are a lot of people like that, but I guess the reason why I'm talking is more my ability to think creatively. I feel like I have almost like a finite amount of creative like juice in a day.
Me too.
And I have to reset it. It's like if I run out of that juice, there's a possibility I can like go for like a second session and have like a second win. But usually I gotta go to sleep, wake up the next day, and then have my energy or my juice just kind of like renewed. And then from there, I can be creative in the morning again.
When you say that, is it like not having inspiration or your mind's not firing? Because for me,
It's the mind firing part. It's just like things are just like going and you're just thinking of certain things, so you just see and believe and understand certain things. Later on I can be inspired, but it might not necessarily like turn into creative movement or like energy. Might be like inspired to just enjoy something.
yeah, like for me, like with the whole inspiration thing, like if I am trying to do something, like let's say at night from, I don't know, 5 to like 8, I can still do what I've been trained to do, but I'm not inventing new shit. If I want to come out with something creative, innovative, something that I like above what my skill level is at whatever I'm doing, it needs to be in the morning. Then that's what I'm innovating. I'm like, oh shit, this is some new creative shit. But at night I can still do and just be a good placeholder for myself.
Yeah.
I think my physical biology fails me before my ability to create. So like, I think I'm constantly in a creative kind of stage, whether it's like my hobbies or just the way I think about society or anything, right? But then I noticed that, like for example, let's say I want to edit a video. The desire is there, but my eyes are failing me. Or like my brain is telling me you need sleep, but I have it wants to keep doing it. And then I think that is what I face a lot.
Like when you want to have sex, but you already jacked off 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah.
Like, oh, don't touch me.
There's nothing, nothing, absolutely nothing.
My fitness or health or anything, like I want to keep doing more, and then or like my body's not ready for it.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know, it's just so relatable. Jacking off 5 times and they're like,
Girls don't know how to relate, they just keep going.
And they touch you like,
It doesn't work anymore.
Just kidding.
it's a sleep valve.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy.
The relatability or just the...
Just like how unusable your dick is.
Well, because everyone's a creative here, right? But how we harness this energy and how we let it out, it is different. And I think that for me, it's constantly out, but it's not always used in a way that is progressing something that is like business or something.
Well, I think the key to like something that like Bart was talking about was the ability to like, for example, even stay creative or like do what you got to do, but then to have like that innovative moment. I feel like that's kind of like that Zen flow when we're even talking about the peak of creativity in general. That's like where maybe my high cortisol like feeling is, because I have a spike in an ability to do something that transcends my normalcy in the day. And then for the rest of the day, I'm kind of like normal. But like to find like that highest peak, that's in the morning. Even though I'm still like creative during the day, but like the fucking peak is what I'm always looking for.
Is it maybe clarity's that word, right? Like I do have spurts of everything's connecting. Where there are times where like it's not because you're too cerebral or you're like thinking about other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if when everything's clear and you are in the zone, then that is the peak of creativity. And then so you get it in the morning, well, some people get it at night.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly what I'm talking
Do you try to schedule like all your rehearsals or whatever like
about.
in
My
the morning?
creation rehearsals I put in the morning.
Do you create better alone or with people?
It depends, but I like, in today's time frame, I like creating more with people because it's more efficient for me. Like if I have like people just assisting.
Like you guys do the choreo, I'm gonna go watch SpongeBob SquarePants.
And then you take all the credit.
Oh shit, it's done.
Like I'm a genius.
Damn, I fucking spiked, dude. Spiked at 9 a.m.
Like, I'm good at this shit, dude. I'm good at this choreography.
Oh fuck, it's true though.
Nick, for you, like when it comes to your trade of like sparring and then
Yeah,
fighting.
when you're thinking about choking somebody out, right?
For me,
This way or this way?
Like at 3 p.m. I will fuck you up.
no. For me, because as I'm hearing everybody's, I'm like, man, for me, it's really dependent on how my day is going. Like, it's like, how was my sleep the night before? Am I doing a lot of physical activity in the morning? If I'm doing a lot of physical activity in the morning and it's pretty intense, by the nighttime, I'm usually not as like, I'm like pretty much fried. But usually I tend to feel more creative and more productive at night. But it really depends on how my overall schedule or like my weekly schedule is. You know, like I usually try to do most of my work in the morning, but it really all depends. And that's why I'm like, man, is something wrong with me? Like, fuck, I don't have a.
You're like ambidextrous with your energies.
I guess maybe, but at the same time, it's really dependent on like the overall schedule. Because obviously, when you're working with clients or you're talking with clients, sometimes some people take a lot more like mental energy and that kind of takes away from it, or just like the type of training that you do kind of takes a lot away from it.
What about the times that you impress yourself? Like for me, regardless of the craft, right? Like let's say it's just the times that I impress myself are always in the mornings. Whether I'm working on like a JK thing or even like if I'm coaching someone in a squat, like I'm like, oh shit, I don't believe that I just explained that in that way. If I coach someone at night, I would never have been able to explain it that way.
When you put it that way, probably the mornings. But I feel like I've had a lot of like, as far as like when I'm trying to outline like my training stuff or whatever, it usually happens at night. Like I do really well at night, but when I'm trying to like write things out or trying to communicate with a client or something like that, usually the mornings, like mid-afternoons is probably the best for me. But I feel like on both ends,
So morning, mid-afternoon, night, you're just perfect.
just terrible, just awful. But it's a give or take, right? If I'm more productive at night, the daytime I'm like, I'm fried or something like that, or I'm not doing anything, or vice versa, you know? So it really depends.
I wish I had a consistent thing like you guys, like in the morning every single time. Yeah,
me
it's
too.
so hit or miss, man.
Me too.
I wouldn't say I'm not a morning person anymore because I just wake up naturally in the morning now. But then it's very hit or miss where my peak is. Like sometimes the mornings will be great and sometimes it won't, you know?
Same.
Yeah, for me it depends on what I'm doing in that day and what the activity is, and then that's when I really feel like the creative juices or the peak or whatever it is. Like it depends on the activity, but usually though, if that particular activity that gets me excited, if it's like butt ass early in the morning, then I probably won't get that energy spike because I just am not a morning person, period. But yeah, for me it's like the activity is more important.
Yeah, if I'm aware of the schedule, if I know I have to go into something like in the evening, I'll like dead myself out and like conserve my energy and not let myself like use my creative flow and my juices. And I'll just like try and
It's like a battery.
Yeah, I'll just try and do nothing.
Yeah, mine's like that too. Like, sometimes I wish like when it comes to like extroversion and introversion, sometimes I'm way more extroverted in the morning. Like when I wake up, I have a bigger capacity to like and communicate and like be engaged with people. But then by nighttime, I'm like, ugh. So I'm like, why can't the club life be in the morning too? Like why can't there be a version of club life in the morning?
I thought of that too.
Anthony?
Me? No, I'm a extrovert who really loves being a homebody.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
That's who I am
That's
too.
how I feel I am.
That's what I
Casey,
feel.
how dare you?
What does that mean?
It's called an ambivert. Ambivert.
What does that mean?
Oh, I recently read something. It's called
What'd you say?
highly sensitive person, but an extrovert. You should look into that.
What is
that?
it?
That's someone who's an extrovert, but then like you get overwhelmed with. So you always question, am I an introvert or extrovert? Maybe I'm an ambivert, but then like it's like you're super sensitive and overwhelmed by these interactions because people's feelings or whatever are heightened to you, so it's exhausting, but you actually enjoy being an extrovert and doing all these things. That's a new thing I found out. So there's an introverted version of that, which is what my mom is.
What do you call it?
It's HSP, highly sensitive person.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's me, dude. I'm gonna take that.
For some reason, makes me not feel so hype. I'm like, I'm super sensitive.